Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection. This episode, I got some cool movies by a great actor who's no longer with us, Robert Forster, or Forster. There's one movie in here that I forgot to get, but he's in a movie called Medium Cool. I wish I got that. But anyways, I'm going to show some movies by Robert Forster and a couple other really kind of cool, kind of low-key, kind of cult, classic type of movies from the 80s and 70s, and a newer movie that will bound to be a cult classic in the future. But let's start off with a cool release from Blue Underground. They recently put this out on 4K, and I heard it was a really good transfer. But for right now, I'll just settle for the regular Blu-ray edition of it, and it looks great in it on its own. It's got some good extras and everything on it. The movie I'm talking about is Vigilante. Now, this is a movie from, I believe, 1983. Oh, yeah, 83. Came out in 83. It's got Robert Forster in it. Fred Williamson, the great Fred Williamson from all the good, cool black exploitation movies from the 70s. Black Caesar, Hammer, all good ones. I love Fred Williamson. He's so cool. He's also got a smaller part with Woody Strode is in it. He was getting up there in the years, and he has a very small part in it, but a really integral part of the story. But yeah, this is a movie takes place, I believe, in New York. You got a group of guys that are kind of. Fred Williamson works with these guys, and he doesn't know what's going on, what they do after hours. But what they do is the cops aren't getting the job done, busting these, rapists and, purse snatchers and home invaders and all these criminals and stuff. So they take it into their own hands, and they follow them, and they beat them up, and they do whatever to them. They start taking care of it. So they become kind of this like legend, kind of this underground thing where a lot of people don't talk about it because they're cleaning up the streets and stuff. And they end up, Robert Forster's wife and son get brutally attacked, and his son gets killed, and all this by this vicious gang. And once that happens, he's like, that's it. I want in on the gang. I want to take care of these guys. And from there on, it's just really cool. I mean, kind of take Death Wish, but add a couple other guys in it and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. It's a good movie. It's hard-hitting. Super cool. From 1983. I don't remember it growing up for some reason, but it looks great on that Blu-ray. Next up, I got another Robert Forster movie. Now, this is a Korean edition DVD. It was all I could find back in the day. I'm not sure if they've ever put it out on Blu-ray or anything decent edition, but this is a movie called Alligator. This was released in 1980. I believe, 1980. Right? Yeah, I believe 1980. I don't know why I'm looking at it. It's in Korean. But basically plays, Robert Forster plays like a detective, a cop, and the sewers start having these alligators and stuff. People are flushing down little baby alligators, and they go in the sewer, and they end up growing up big and start attacking people. Like back in the day, there used to be a rumor that, New York City sewers were full of alligators because of people, having pets and flushing them down the toilet and everything. So it kind of plays on that, urban legend kind of thing and goes with it. And it is a cool movie. It's got some good people in it. Robin Riker, Michael Gazzo, like his chief and different people, some really cool. It's a lot of fun. It just really takes you back to the 80s and like early, cable TV, and this would be some of the stuff I would probably have seen as a young kid, on HBO or something. So it was one of those movies I, barely remember, but I'm glad I got this. This is really cool. It's not a bad edition, it's DVD. Looked like it could be cleaned up a little bit, but not bad at all. Next up is a really cool movie that this is coming out from Eureka. Masters of Cinema is putting out a big Blu-ray edition of this, and when I saw that, I was like, man, I don't know, should I blind buy it and buy it, spend that extra money to get, a UK movie shipped over here, or should I see if it's available on DVD or something and check it out? Well, that's what I did. I found a good Universal DVD edition of it from back, mid 2000s. This movie is called The Dawn is Dead, and it came out in 1973. A lot of movies come out. 73 was a year, man, with all kinds of cool stuff. But The Dawn is Dead, and it stars Anthony Quinn, and it's got Robert Forster. It's kind of the up-and-coming gangster, because this is a gangster story, Anthony Quinn is the Don. He's kind of a mobster, head of a mobster family, and basically Robert Forster is kind of like a nephew or something, and somehow or another he gets promoted up in the ranks and becomes the up and coming Don or something. And it's a really cool mobster movie. It's kind of like maybe a smaller, shorter flip side to like the Godfather saga, but kind of condensed into 2 hours instead of 4 hours or 5 hours. So this is really interesting, cool movie. Yeah, I had never heard of. The Dawn is Dead. I recommend that. You might be able to find it on Hulu or something, or HBO Max or something. But yeah, The Dawn is Dead. Next up is that movie I was talking about that's probably going to be an up-and-coming cult classic. Now this was, I got this from Amazon. It was really cheap. It's another release from, I don't know what company this is, RLJE Films, which, released the Bone Tomahawks and the Cell Block 99 movies. This is a movie called VFW, and I got it really cheap, and it's a 4K and Blu-ray edition of this movie. So I believe it was only like $5 or $6. So I took a chance on it because it's got some really cool people in it. It's got the great Fred Williamson, who was in some of these other movies. He's really showing his age in this movie because he's up there. He's in his 70s. He may even be pushing 80 and stuff, but he's still chomping on the cigar and still beating up people. But it's got Stephen Lang, William Sadler, and Martin Coven. And you might recognize William Sadler, I believe, is from the Karate Kid movies. But yeah, it's basically there's this group of dudes that hang out at their local VFW, veterans of foreign wars. They get together, drink beer, talk about the old days. Well, one day there's this big drug kingpin that's taken over the city with this new synthetic drug, and somehow or another a girl steals a big stash of it, and they're basically chasing her, and she ends up running into this VFW to hide out. And these guys come in and they start kicking ass because they're like, you're not going to do this here. This is our place, which sparks this big war between them and them versus them, and everything. So it's a really cool movie. It's in the vein of like the cult movies you would see in the 80s and 90s, and it's bound to be a classic in the future. So definitely check that out. If you can find it cheap, hey, it's worth it. Plus it's 4K. Building my 4K collection, and one day I'll have a 4K player. But VFW. And finally, guys, this is a movie, a 3-pack from Mill Creek. I already had white line fever, and I showed that on a previous episode. But what I really wanted to get out of this set was Silent Rage and Blind Fury. So yeah, it's a 3-pack. It's called the Payback Time Triple Feature with Blind Fury with Rutger Hauer, Silent Rage with Chuck Norris, and Jan Michael Vincent in White Line Fever. This is a great 3-pack set. Silent Rage is just such a cool movie. I mean, it didn't get the best reviews, but I like Chuck Norris's humor. He had this underlayer of humor and / seriousness throughout the movie. It's really funny. And Blind Fury, what's not there to hate? I mean, it's such a great movie with Rutger Hauer playing the blind swordsman. Such an outlandish story, but, it's so much fun. That's what makes movies fun. And, it kind of brings you back to your teen years and kid, watching these movies and stuff. But great set. I think I got this for $10, $10.99. Mill Creek. But yeah, it's a great movie. Ron Silver plays the crazed maniac in Silent Rage. He would go on to be Hellboy and Beauty and the Beast and all that stuff. But yeah, highly recommend this set. If you don't have any of these movies, get them. They look great. And it's definitely something to invest in if you like that kind of, if that's your cup of tea. So anyways, guys, that's about it for this episode. I did forget, during my Black Exploitation movie episodes, I showed I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. I forgot to bring out the Laserdisc edition of that, because I should have showed that off, because I love the artwork. The poster is so iconic in a way, at least to me. But yeah, it's the Laserdisc to I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And I actually watched this night before last, and it's got a great transfer on it. It looks just as good, or maybe slightly better than the DVD release of it, because that DVD is pretty rough. But yeah, I watched this recently, and it looks great. It's a great MGM UA release. Their releases always looked good back in the day, and this movie's a lot of fun. It's got the trailer on here, and that's about it. But yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, you got to get this. This is like such a great movie. One of my personal favorites. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. So I just had to show that. But that's about it, guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Hit that bell to be notified when I release a new episode. And give me some comments, and a thumbs up would be cool. And until next time, guys, I am Mike. Watch good movies and be safe out there. And I will be back for another episode.